My name's Darren. Jump in the passenger seat with me as we explore the remote areas and wildlife of Africa. We left the last episode with me locked down in Namibia for a year, and the Landy firmly grounded in a river in the remotest area of the country, and our fate firmly in the hands of the river gods. If they sent down another huge wave of floodwater, it would be goodbye to the Landy, and possibly me. After 4 hours, a vehicle had turned up to help, but as my camera battery started to die, it failed in pulling us out, and then disappeared, leaving me fairly confused as to what was happening. The situation was out of my control, and I was becoming pretty concerned. I kept expecting to hear the distant sound of rolling thunder, indicating a wall of water was on its way down the river. Luckily, the good people of Purros will never leave you stranded, particularly when you have a baby named after you in the village as I do. The vehicle had gone upstream a little to where the riverbed was quite rocky, crossed over there, and came up behind the Landy to pull us out after quite a few failed attempts in the soft sand. It wasn't easy, but at last we broke the suction of the riverbed. As mentioned, my camera batteries were all dead by this stage, so I couldn't get any shots, sorry. And to be honest, I was fully concentrating on the recovery. But I'm sure you can imagine how happy and relieved we all were, back on dry land. The river gods of Africa had spared us today, but you'll see what could have happened shortly. Thanks again, everybody. Please consider Purros for your next holiday destination, the best place in the world to get stuck in a river. I retreated back to the shade of the campsite to lick my wounded overlanding pride, while they returned home to have some cold drinks with some cash they had found along the way, if you know what I mean. I never did manage to get a cold drink that day, which had been the whole point of trying to cross the river. Sitting and watching the river for the rest of the day provided a chance to reflect on the filming challenge I faced. Travelling overland with a vehicle was often quite difficult in its own right. Adding filming to the mix was really tripling the daily stress load. And as the day's events had proved, it was going to be hard to always capture the moment when you need to be fully focused on resolving a situation. A good point to reflect on for me, and I could see where I needed to be better organised. So I rigged up a small network of charging cables to help with the battery recharges when driving, rather than waiting until the end of the day. It would take a while longer to understand how I needed to sacrifice many of my personal desires when travelling, and put the filming above everything else. So whilst I wanted to flop around in the afternoon heat, I did push myself to keep practicing. As they say, practice makes perfect, or, in my case, vaguely acceptable quality, hopefully. Oh, didn't tighten the camera very well, did I? Anyway, time for a bit of lunch, eh? This is fairly typical of something I'd have for lunch, or even dinner. It's canned green beans. I had some fresh peppers and onions with some tuna. It's not the greatest lunch on the planet, but with a bit of garlic, a bit of onion, it's passable, it's eatable, it's a bit spicy and tangy. It's 40 degrees today, so I don't feel particularly hungry. There is very little fresh fruit or vegetables up here, by the way. Trying to grow it is very difficult as the elephants come to eat as soon as they smell it. And the nearest supermarket stocking them would be about an 8-hour round trip. Yep. Bollocks. During the afternoon, we almost had a visitor. I got up to go to the toilet and spooked a snake that was heading our way. I'm not sure who was more frightened, but it very quickly turned tail and disappeared, and I suddenly didn't need to go to the toilet so badly and returned to sit near the Landy and, for some reason, fondle my machete for the rest of the afternoon. I was walking into the sun and didn't see it clearly amongst the bushes. It was about 1 metre long and, well, another filming lesson learnt the hard way. Always take a camera with you, even when walking 50 metres to the toilet. These shots are from a snake park I visited. Don't worry, there's glass between you and them. I highly recommend going to see snakes in a controlled environment if you can. I believe the fear you have when you see them imprints their shape and movement into your brain, and you're more likely to spot them before getting into serious trouble. Though, it's a theory I'm not too keen to test too often, to be honest. Okay, so we have a black mamba in this one. He's moving around a bit. We have a black mamba here. He's a little bit more sleepy. He gets a bit agitated if you go too close. Oh no, it's moving away. It's obviously scared of my ugly face. Down below him, we have a Cape Cobra, which is well hidden, but he's not to be messed with, or she. And then next door, we have a puffadder, which bites about 75% of people that get bitten in Africa each year. Mainly because it's a lazy snake, just sits in the same place. People step on it, kapow. I guess like most people, snakes are both fascinating and as scary as hell. But I think mostly they get a very bad rap from the sensationalised way they are presented. Two good antidotes to counter this are Jason Arnold's YouTube channel, where he calmly goes about catching mostly quite placid snakes, with little fuss or emotional booming swishing sound effects, and the African Snakebite Institute, which has a fantastic website and app full of educational information, videos and stunning pictures. I'll leave a link to them both in the comment section below. Definitely take the app with you if you're going travelling in Africa. Here it's the puffadder and zebra snakes that people seem most worried about. The puffadder relies on camouflage that doesn't run away when it knows you're coming, and thus people tend to step on them or next to them and get bitten. The zebra snake is a striped spitting cobra, and perceived as being quite aggressive. It's very accurate at spitting venom into your eyes, and is one of the reasons I don't care about wearing fashionable sunglasses. I want wraparound ones that'll stop venom getting in my eyes. The locals told me they found some tracks from one on the other side of the river. Flash floods and now talk of deadly snakes. My Auntie Fee in New Zealand will be getting more worried than usual about me. Don't worry Fee, I didn't step on any snakes up here. I almost did later on in Angola, but as you can see my razor sharp reflexes saved me. There's a little snake. Scary. It had been a long day, but definitely no complaints. As a close friend once said to me, you can't complain if you go to Africa looking for adventure and then find some. Towards the end of the day, my host turned up.
Is it good, huh?
Oh, you can make a video. So I'm filming video, you see.
No, okay, I see, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you can now you can film me.
Okay.
You see me?
Yes, I see.
All right, you hold it and you film me. So just hold here on the, yeah.
Just like this.
Yeah, and then just follow the screen.
Oh.
How's that?
Oh, my friend. Oh, we are together, you know what? No complaint.
So here we are, Darren and Chips in Purros.
Yes, of course.
At Chips's beautiful campsite. And he's very kindly organised some water to come into the river for me, which is the first time I've ever had water in a desert river, so I'm very excited.
The very important thing is, for me, it's just good and 100% to stay with you in my campsite. Good.
Definitely one of the best campsites. And I'm not, as I said, I'm honest. I wouldn't say that if I didn't believe it.
Great, and thanks.
We will put you on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole world can see how nice people from Purros are.
Okay. That isn't that isn't a good. No complaint, no problem. I need the people to come in my campsite, like you, 100%. Good, to stay with you.
A lovely end to the day there, meeting Chips, who's the owner of this campsite. We had a long conversation for over an hour, and yeah, just learning about this area and his life and his 5 children. He's predicting more rain. He reckons this rain has come from the east, if you like. Further north, this splits off into 2 directions, and he says that probably it's rained on the east, and this is the water we're getting now, but the rain will have continued towards the west, where it would have been raining, and it'll be taking a different riverbed to meet up. So that'll be interesting. He also mentioned that occasionally, not very often, the water actually gets right up to here and encircles the whole campsite and actually turns it into an island. So out the back we'd also have a deep flowing channel. So I'm hoping that's not the case. I don't actually want to be entrapped on an island, but well, you never know your luck. But so we'll see what happens tomorrow anyway. I don't think there's too much rain around, but I'm not a local and I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that was fun. Nice to meet him and talk to him. He's going to come and visit tomorrow, so we might get a bit more on camera. Sun's gone down, so I'm just sort of careful of elephants because I've been around, well, every night I've been here really. Just after dark they tend to walk through. So I'm going to grab my dinner out of the fridge and eat that, and we'll see you tomorrow bright and early. Waking up to a calm, clear day was magical, and the river had gone down significantly, so a good chance to reflect on my stuff up from the previous day. So let's see if we could get across today. No problem, I think. Nice and shallow. Quite slippy here. We could definitely make it across today if we needed to. Don't actually have a need to, but interesting to just see how quickly in the space of 12 hours, 18 hours, the riverbed had changed so much. Oh well, my fault. I should have walked it instead of assuming it was the same. And that's kind of an important lesson to remember, really. No matter how many places you've been and what you've done before, one little moment of laziness can cause you a lot of problems. Just having a quick walk along the mud, checking what's in here, seeing if there's any insects, what birds have been walking. For example, some bird tracks there. When I first set off into Africa, I'd have to say I'd never ever thought about birds once. Leaving from London, where there's very little wildlife, it was the last thing on my mind, even originally coming from a country where we have a few interesting ones. Lions, leopards, elephants, crocs! That's what Africa was about for a rough, tough alpha male 4x4 adventurer like me. But travel is a great leveller, and there's only so many lunch stops under a large tree where a fascinating bird with brilliant colours starts hopping around before even the dimmest idiot wakes up to the fact that Africa has so many amazing birds. Hornbills are fascinating. How do they fly when half of their body is heavy beak? So more than 2 minutes in that hot sun. That's extremely powerful. You can just feel it burning you to the ground. It just wants to push you down and burn you. And very quickly, any exercise, you get very thirsty, very dry. But anyway, the water's nice and cool. Enjoyed a little walk around. I'd love to show you amazing shots of incredible things happening every 10 seconds in every film. But the reality of life on the road is you often have slow days for different reasons. You need to rest, recover, and take care of the mundane things like washing your clothes, organising the vehicle, and mechanical checks. Apparently you're allowed to have fun as well. As much as I love the living life on the edge aspects of travel, I also cherish these days where you can absorb your surroundings, chat with local people, and, to be honest, just daydream the time away. Life can be ultra busy and increasingly completely disconnected from our natural roots. School, training, university, jobs, partner, kids, mortgage, responsibilities, go, 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 today, hurry, now, money. It's very hard to find 6 months free of responsibilities for yourself to daydream and follow your passions. Trauma and stress seem to be at the heart of many of our problems, but camping in the desert, I seem to be free of all of these. I feel balanced and at peace, even when stuck in the river. I realise that I've sacrificed pretty much everything else in life to travel and make these films. I'm honestly not sure how my long-term future will turn out as a result. I don't own a house or qualify for a pension in any country. I make no money from the travel or the films, and it costs me a fortune. But it's my passion and I feel drawn to follow it come what may. So let's enjoy the journey and see where we end up. I'm as excited by it as you are. Well, nothing like some 40-degree heat to get your mind wobbling around, I guess. This daydreaming is dangerous, eh? Probably best not share any of these thoughts. People will think I'm a bit weird. There is a 2G Edge phone network in Purros, so I could get text messages, and it was concerning to hear how the world was going into various lockdowns and how it was affecting you all. You were all very much in my thoughts. So thoughts to all of you that are in lockdown. I'll probably not get this uploaded until you're out of lockdown. The internet's so poor and so expensive here that uploading gigabytes of video files to YouTube, I would imagine, is quite difficult. But yeah, certainly thinking of all my friends and family that are sort of locked down in very different circumstances and very different places. It's fair to say the rest of the day was a quiet, reflective one. I mucked around the campsite and continued to learn how to use the camera equipment with varying degrees of success. Okay, welcome to my YouTube channel. So I should be in focus, and hopefully the wireless Go is also working. Okay, so I need to clean that. After a lovely day, I was soon ready to drift off to sleep early, feeling relatively safe and secure in my new home in Purros, and noting that the next day was my second birthday, a little personal celebration of life over death. On April 10th, 2011, I'd somehow managed to come out alive after being stuck on an electrified metal tap from an instant hot water heater in this campsite shower in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. 30 to 40 amps for a minute isn't much fun. I'm deaf in one ear as a result, and other horribly gory details will leave for another day. Instead, let's just enjoy the beautiful irony that, much to my surprise, there was an ambulance to take me to hospital, but it ran out of petrol halfway there. Time to hit the tent. It's tempting to say I've made it through another day, but of course nighttime is often more dangerous in Africa than daytime. Still, I'm safely in the tent, and generally it's only elephants you have to worry about. I have heard of leopards attacking people through the windows, but generally when they've put something out. So fingers crossed, I should be fine, I think. As I said, only worried about elephants. And the odd snake, but I've covered up all the holes with tape. So yeah, generally never had any problems at night apart from mosquitoes and the odd creepy crawly and things like that. So looking forward to another good night's sleep. It's a bit cooler now at night. You can sleep well, which is, really pleasant after a hot, sunny day. And tomorrow I think I'm going to do a full day's recording as a bit of a practice run. Mother Nature can have a wonderful sense of humour, and the next day I woke to celebrate in my own small way my second birthday, to find out it was going to be an electricity-themed day. A storm was brewing. Got a dust storm blowing in. Got a bet with the Guardian that it's going to rain. He reckons not. I reckon possibly. So a whole Namibian dollar's riding on that. But the dust is kicked up by enough wind. Wind usually precedes rain, but maybe not, we will see. Normally the rain stays on the other side of the hills. Anyway, we will await further developments. In the meantime, I'm preparing for the dust storm. Gonna put the tent down and just pack everything away. And that way I'm not going to get covered in dust inside. Anyway, it's absolutely just hot, so hopefully it does rain. In the meantime, I am going to go and find a little bit of water without hopefully getting struck by lightning, and cool off a little bit, as well as clean my hands. Oh, nice. Oh, that's a bit better. It's just sitting inside the Land Rover because it's definitely electric atmosphere, definitely the threat of lightning if there's thunder, so who knows. One thing I learnt growing up in rural New Zealand is that sometimes you have to make your own fun. So I set off for a bit of Purros storm chasing in memory of my electrocution. If it was going to rain and there was a lot of thunder, I didn't want to be stuck under those trees. And so it's definitely rain over the other side of that valley. We are waiting anxiously to see if we actually get any proper drops of rain. It'd be nice to be here and share this semi-historic moment of once in a decade rain. Come out of the river valley and just sitting up on a little perch here and admiring nature, really. It's quite, wind's picked up, you might be able to hear a bit of swirling and howling. Land Rover's got a bit of a shake to it. Interesting to see the weather. I've had nothing but 2 weeks of hot, sunny dryness. So yeah, nice to have a bit of change, albeit it's messed up my plans for the day. The good thing is I don't have any great plans. Namibia is an incredibly diverse and beautiful place, and part of that is derived from its weather patterns. A lot of the country is on a high plateau of at least 1,000 metres, which slopes down to the Atlantic Ocean, often via a collection of stunning mountains. It has very cold water and winds coming up from the Antarctic to the southwest, and humid warm weather coming from the Congo Basin and the northeast. These differences result in a never-ending weather battle being fought, one of the consequences often resulting in gigantic banks of sea fog reaching up to 100 kilometres inland from the ocean. It's quite incredible to experience. You can see it's quite wet, That's quite a good drink for a plant if they get that, a few times a week or every night even. Purros seems to be located at a very frustrating location. where storms from the northeast never quite make it over this last mountain range, due to the competing weather pushing against it. You can see the storms, see the rains falling in the next valley, but as locals told me, it never rains in Purros. Well, amazing news. I've definitely got a few spits on the windscreen, and I'm holding my hand out the window, and there's also a few spits on my hand. So I can definitely say it's raining in Purros. Very badly, very slowly. You'd definitely ask for your money back if you'd paid for it, but yeah, technically this is rain. So I can count at least, I'd say 50 drops of rain on the windscreen. Yeah, no, definitely raining a bit more now. Very exciting. There's the rain cloud up above us. That's it. One cloud and a little bit of rain. There was 3 big flashes of lightning, one just above the campsite. So I've decided to sort of move up to the top of the far side of the valley, up to the top of the hill. Fairly sure the storm's not going to pass all the way up here. It seems to be moving down the valley rather than across it. So just to be sure, I don't really fancy a lightning strike on the Land Rover. It's kind of weird to be in bright sunshine burning my arm when only a few kilometers away there's thunder and lightning. I'll head down the little canyon at the sort of the other side of the mountains from Purros. It's a chance of giraffes or elephants down here, and it's just a beautiful drive as well, I think, so we'll have a little look, shall we? To be honest, I hesitated about including this footage in the story. It's not the fast-paced and dynamic stuff you need to show as a fledgling channel trying to get off the ground, but I maintain I want you to feel like you're travelling with me, through thick and thin, through the reality of what my year lockdown in Namibia was actually like, so you can experience the country as I did. I hope that's okay. I also thought it was a good little trial run. As a whole week into my budding film career, and I was onto the fact that I needed to get a wide variety of different shots, and start to join them together so visually they told a story in their own right. It's a lonely tree here. Looks like it's been well abused. Plus I needed to practice talking to the camera more. I didn't lack confidence to do this, but it was quick to drain away in the 40-degree heat with a dry mouth, and when you realise you're not as astute, articulate and as amazing as you'd envisaged. Instead coming across more like a stunned mullet, as we'd say in New Zealand. Absolutely stunning drive. I should stop saying that, I hate it when people say absolutely. It's a very pleasant drive indeed. Beautiful blow to the rocks at this time of the day. Not absolutely lovely. It's very nice. Problem with taking these damn shots is you got to go back and get the camera. I wanted to stop for a second and just capture the fantastic lines on these rocks that have fallen down. Somebody's built 2 walls of rock. I mean, they're beautiful, but I don't know why. Probably a bit hot at this time of the day for the snakes to be out in the sun, so they're going to be in the shade. Anyway, fascinating. I don't know what they are. And the second one is down here. I'm a bit reluctant to go walking at the moment in amongst all these rocks. It's snake country. But yeah, very strange. No prizes for guessing what these are or who they belong to. Shows you their diet, that's for sure. Hope you enjoyed that. Getting down towards the river now, so I'm just coasting, not driving. It's a bit hard to make a slow and graceful entrance on such deep gravel. So, let's see what's around this corner, very slowly in case Mr. Elephant's there. And we might not go down here due to the fact it's probably a bit wet on the bank maybe. I don't want to get stuck in there. So just very quietly walking along here, seeing what footprints are in the sand. A little bit nervous being in the bushy area. So if an elephant emerges, he can run faster than I can. Check out this. Anyway, it's a good way to avoid the storm, was to pop into the canyon next door. Have a quick look around to see if there's anything animal-wise, but it's a bit hot in the middle of the day at the moment. Alright, well let's pop back to Purros and see how the storm's getting on. It's an exciting day, eh? So the storm's moved off towards the north and left Purros relatively clear. Most importantly for me is the risk of lightning, which I think probably has disappeared now. So let's pop back down to Purros. The heat and humidity continued to play havoc with my action cameras as I recorded a few thoughts. This was the only place in the whole year where they played up like this. And we just had a bit of a sunset drive down the dry side of the riverbed. No wildlife, which is a bit disappointing, but that's life. I think most of them are down the canyon where there's a lot more water and a lot more greenery. So time for a quick shower and a bite to eat, and hopefully we don't get thundered or lightning or rained on. I wouldn't mind the rain during the night. Alright, bye. I later sat and ate dinner with nature providing a very widescreen TV. A very quick dinner of some noodles and a bit of soup and a raw pepper chopped up for a bit of something fresh and nutritious. I'm down to one pepper left. So I'll have that in a couple of days, and a few apples. Other than that, it's tinned and packet and instant type food. It's one of the problems of travelling in here is nutrition. The lightning storm raging in the neighbouring valley was both mesmerising and terrifying, and left me hoping that the ancient weather patterns were going to shield me from a strike as I slept in the roof tent under the trees. I was thankful for a relatively quiet, calm and interesting day, and again wondered what all of my friends were watching as their lives unfolded in different directions. So far my decision to run away to Africa to avoid you-know-what was working out quite well. I felt safe and happy in Purros and was quite content to stay here for the foreseeable future. A little desert oasis on the edge of civilization, and out of harm's way as the world seemingly plunged into some kind of dystopian future. The filming side of things was troubling me a little, however. I felt that technically I would be a hopeless, bumbling amateur for a long time to come. Alongside this, I was very unsure how people would react to somebody escaping from what they endured and suffered through in so many ways to run around seemingly having fun and adventures in the sun. Albeit the reality is more what I've tried to show you over the last few days. Perhaps this looks like the last place on Earth you'd choose to be with its 40-degree heat, dangerous elephants and snakes, and you'd never swap your stay at home 10th of April 2020 for my day of gentle storm chasing in Namibia. If we could go back in time, what would you choose?